All right, everyone get ready, because today we are doing a deep dive into this XYO network.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you guys have sent in a ton of articles about their price going up recently, and it looks like things are getting really interesting.
Yeah.
We've got analyses from Crypto.news, CoinGecko, Forbes, being crypto.
Yeah.
Even saw a tweet hinting at a Tesla connection.
Interesting.
Yeah. So many exciting things going on.
A lot of intrigue.
Yeah, intrigue abounds. So our mission today is to figure out what's driving this XYO hype train.
Okay.
And more importantly, is it a short-term pump, or is this something that has some staying power?
Yeah, it's a really fascinating case. We've got a new tech launch, market trends kind of swirling around.
Yeah.
And of course, that classic crypto speculation. It's a potent mix.
Definitely a potent mix.
Yeah.
A recipe for some market excitement. But before we get too far, I think we need to back up for a second.
Sure.
For anyone who's new to the XYO game, can you give us a quick rundown?
Yeah, absolutely.
What exactly is XYO?
So the XYO network, it's all about building a decentralized location data network.
Okay.
So think of it like GPS, but instead of relying on those big centralized servers, it uses blockchain technology to create this verifiable, tamper-proof log of location data.
I see. So like a distributed GPS.
You got it.
And I'm seeing sentinels, bridges, and archivists in these articles.
Right.
Sounds like we're in a spy thriller.
Yeah, they picked those names for a reason, but it's more clever than cryptic.
Okay.
So the sentinels are the devices that are out in the real world, gathering location data.
Yeah.
Bridges act as the relay, pass the data along, and then the archivists store everything securely on the blockchain.
I see.
It creates a system where there's no real single point of failure that can bring the whole thing down.
That makes sense. Yeah. So let's talk about the XYO token itself.
Okay.
Where does that fit into all of this, and why this sudden price surge?
Well, the XYO token is like the fuel that keeps this whole network running. All right. It incentivizes people to contribute location data, verify the data's accuracy, and even participate in governing the network. So you can think of it as the reward system for keeping the information flowing and reliable.
Interesting. And it seems like these rewards are starting to catch people's attention.
Yeah.
All these articles are pointing to this big surge in January 2025.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what happened there?
Yeah, so that's when the launch of the XYO layer for blockchain came in.
Okay.
So instead of relying on Ethereum, they launched their own dedicated blockchain designed to be like the backbone of the entire XYO ecosystem.
So they went and made their own blockchain.
Exactly. It's built for scalability.
Okay.
Multi-chain support, and they're already talking about potential applications for everything.
Wow.
From AI to real-world asset management.
So they are building their own highway for location data.
That's a great way to put it.
And it looks like investors are piling on board.
Yeah.
Crypto.news is reporting a 40 to 65% price jump right after that launch, with trading volume skyrocketing by over 1,100%.
Huge, yeah.
CoinGecko even mentions 327% growth over the past year. So those are some impressive numbers.
The market definitely responded enthusiastically to that.
Yeah.
Some analysts even pointed to a bullish falling wedge pattern leading up to the launch. So this wasn't just out of the blue.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's also this Tesla connection.
Oh, right.
That's floating around, adding to the buzz.
Yeah, the Elon Musk factor. Can't forget about that.
Right.
A few of these articles mention rumors of a potential XYO and Tesla collaboration.
Yeah, I saw that.
And we all remember what happened in December 2024.
Oh, yeah.
When those similar rumors surfaced. A whopping 125% surge for XYO.
It's crazy.
Is there any fire behind all this smoke? Or is it just wishful thinking?
Well, I
guess until we see an official announcement.
Yeah.
A little bit of skepticism is in order.
For sure.
But even without Tesla, XYO is making some pretty bold claims about the potential of their tech.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing real-world asset management.
Yeah.
And depend networks.
Yeah.
What exactly does that even mean?
Right.
And how does XYO fit in?
So it's all about this idea of bridging the gap between the digital world and the physical world.
Yeah.
Think about it. What if we could track like the authenticity and location of any physical product?
What?
From the factory floor all the way to like your doorstep using blockchain.
Yeah.
So no more counterfeit goods, no more like supply chain mysteries.
Yeah.
That's kind of the level of transparency and security that XYO is aiming for.
So we're talking about a system where you could verify the origin and journey of let's say a designer handbag, or even like crucial medications.
Exactly.
That would be huge for combating fraud and ensuring quality control.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just individual products.
Okay.
Imagine real-time shipment tracking for entire supply chains. Companies could optimize their logistics, reduce waste, and consumers could have more confidence in the products that they're buying.
That's amazing.
It's a potential game changer for industries like e-commerce and manufacturing.
Now, this DPIN network concept, that sounds even more futuristic.
It does.
Can you break that down for us?
Sure. So DPIN stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network.
Okay.
It's basically a way to create a distributed shared infrastructure using everyday devices instead of relying on these massive centralized data centers owned by big corporations.
Okay.
So think of it like a decentralized cloud computing network powered by individual devices.
So instead of relying on Amazon or Google for cloud services, we could have a network of people's computers and devices all working together, providing that functionality.
That's the idea.
That's a pretty radical shift.
It is, and XYO's location data is crucial for making this work.
How so?
Well, to ensure the integrity and reliability of a DPIN network, you need to be able to verify the location of each device and resource within that system.
Okay.
So that's where XYO's tamper-proof location verification comes in.
I see. So they're not just tracking location.
Right.
They're building like the trust layer.
Exactly.
So this whole other kind of internet infrastructure.
It's a bold vision.
It is a bold vision.
But like with any emerging tech, there's going to be risks and challenges.
For sure. What should potential investors be aware of if they are evaluating XYO?
Well, you're absolutely right. This DPIN space is still very much in its early stages. And while the potential is enormous, there's no guarantee it will become like the mainstream infrastructure of the future. And even if it does, XYO isn't the only player in the location data game. There's competition out there. The landscape could shift very quickly.
So it's not a sure bet.
No.
By any means.
Not at all.
And investors need to understand they're betting on a promising but unproven concept. They're betting on XYO's ability to execute on its vision and stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And, you know, we can't forget about those Tesla rumors either.
Right.
While you're definitely generating a lot of buzz, it's crucial to base investment decisions on solid fundamentals, not just speculation.
I got to look at the fundamentals of the project, not just, oh, it went up because Elon Musk tweeted something.
Don't get caught up in that hype.
What about that other intriguing narrative that we saw? This possibility of a 0% capital gains tax for U.S.-based crypto projects. One of our sources mentioned comments made by Eric Trump. How much weight should investors give to that?
Well, it's certainly a tempting prospect for some investors, but it's crucial to remember that this is pure speculation. At this point, tax laws can change quickly.
Absolutely.
And, you know, basing investment decisions on hypothetical scenarios is rarely a sound strategy.
So focus on the inherent value of the project, not on potential tax benefits that may or may not materialize.
That's right.
But beyond just the financial aspects, I think there's another dimension we have to think about with XYO, which is the ethical implications of location data. This stuff can get pretty sensitive.
Absolutely. Location data is incredibly personal. And its use raises a host of ethical considerations. Privacy is a huge concern. If someone can track your every move, you know, that the power could be used for good or bad.
It's a double-edged sword.
It is.
And that's where XYO's claims about prioritizing user privacy and data ownership become really important. How do they plan to address these concerns?
Well, their approach relies on blockchain technology to create a transparent and auditable record of how that location data is being used. So the idea is that users will have control over their own data. And they can choose whether or not to share it and under what conditions. They can also be rewarded for sharing their data. So they benefit from its use.
So it's not just about collecting the data. It's about empowering users. Giving them agency over how it's being used. But are these privacy-preserving features really feasible? Or is this just lip service?
Well, that's the key question. It's one thing to talk about user privacy.
Yeah.
It's another to implement it effectively.
For sure.
So we need to see how these features actually work in practice.
Right.
And whether they truly live up to those promises.
Right. The proof is in the pudding.
Exactly.
But this conversation about the ethical use of data isn't limited to XYO.
It's not.
It's a challenge for the entire tech industry.
Absolutely.
Especially as location data becomes more and more valuable.
Right. As we kind of navigate this new landscape, it's crucial to have these open and honest discussions about the responsible use of data and to develop frameworks that protect individual privacy while still allowing for innovation.
It's a tough balance to strike.
It is.
So we've talked about XYO's technology, potential applications, risks, ethical considerations. But the big question that I think is on everyone's mind is XYO a good investment?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is.
And unfortunately, there's no easy answer.
Right.
It all comes down to your own individual investment goals, risk tolerance, and your belief in the future of location data and depend networks.
So no crystal ball here.
Nope.
Investors really need to do their due diligence.
They do.
Understand the technology, assess the team, and make informed decisions
for sure
based on their own individual circumstances.
Exactly. The crypto world is full of opportunities.
It is.
But it's also rife with speculation and volatility.
For sure.
So knowledge is your most valuable asset. So arm yourself with information.
Great advice.
And invest wisely.
Now, as we wrap up this deep dive into the XYO network, what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, I think the first thing to remember is that XYO sits at the intersection of several emerging trends. You've got blockchain, location data, and depend networks.
Right.
So the potential is vast. But the technology is still developing. The recent price surge is exciting. But the crypto market is notoriously volatile. So don't get caught up with the short-term hype.
So look beyond the price fluctuations. Focus on XYO's long-term vision. Do you think they can deliver on those ambitious goals?
That's the real question.
And as we discussed, the ethical implications of location data are paramount.
They are.
They claim to be building a privacy-centric system. But we need to hold them accountable and ensure they follow through on those promises.
It's about responsible innovation, not just technological advancement.
What else should our listeners?
I would encourage everyone to really go beyond the headlines and the rumors. Dig deeper, understand the technology, the team behind it, and the competitive landscape. Do your own research and kind of form your own informed opinion. About XYO's potential.
Great advice.
Knowledge is power.
Especially in crypto. So armed with all this information. Our listeners can now go and make their own informed decisions about XYO Network and its future. It's a fascinating story. And it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds in the years to come.
I think so too.
Yeah, it really is. There's a lot to unpack with XYO. And it feels like we're just scratching the surface here, but I wanted to go back to something you said earlier about location data being the new gold. I think that's a really powerful analogy.
It is. If you think about just how valuable data has become in the digital age. Location data is arguably one of the most potent pieces of the puzzle. It tells us where we are, where we've been, what we do, who we interact with. It's a treasure trove of insights for businesses, governments, even individuals.
And if XYO is successful in building this network, they're not just collecting that data. They're creating the infrastructure to manage it, analyze it, and ultimately extract value from it.
That's the key. They're not necessarily the ones digging for the gold. But they're providing the picks and shovels.
Oh, I like that.
The maps, the tools that everyone else needs to participate in this new gold rush.
I love that analogy. It really does reframe how we think about XYO. They're not just a token, not just a blockchain.
They're building the foundation for a whole new data economy.
And that's a powerful position to be in.
It is. If this demand for accurate, reliable, and ethically sourced location data continues to grow, XYO could be very well positioned to benefit, regardless of which specific applications or use cases take off.
It's like investing in the internet in the early days.
Exactly.
You didn't know which websites would be the next Amazon or Google. But if you believed in the power of the internet, you were bound to find some opportunities.
Exactly. And that's the key question for investors to consider, right? Are they betting on a specific use case for XYO's technology, or are they betting on the underlying value of the infrastructure itself?
So it's like a long-term perspective.
It is.
Versus a short-term gamble.
Exactly.
So as our listeners are thinking about all of this with XYO, what's like the one big question?
I think it boils down to, do you believe in the power of location data?
Okay.
Do you believe that it's going to play an increasingly important role in the world around us, shaping how we interact with businesses, how we manage resources, how we build and experience the future?
If the answer is yes, then XYO might just be the digital prospector's best friend.
There you go.
A tool for navigating this new frontier, full of possibilities and, of course, some unknowns as well.
Absolutely, there are no guarantees when it comes to emerging tech. But by understanding those trends, assessing the risks, doing your research, you can make informed decisions and hopefully position yourself to benefit from these exciting innovations.
Great advice.
Thank you.
And I think a perfect note to end on.
I agree.
Knowledge is key, especially in the world of crypto.
For sure.
So to all of our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep questioning.
Absolutely.
This crypto landscape is constantly evolving.
It is.
And we'll be here to help guide you through it.
We will.
Every step of the way.
Until next time.
Thanks for joining us.